Hi there, in this quick video we're going to have a look at fixing some problems with Excel dates. Excel is very fussy about how it likes its dates to be entered, and generally speaking it likes it like this, with forward slashes separating the numbers. If you have dates that already exist in your spreadsheet and they haven't been entered in this way, you can fix them, but because potentially you are changing the data, I would make a backup copy of your spreadsheet before you try this. So the easiest thing to do, I think, probably is just to do a file and save as, and give it a new name and save it again, so that you don't accidentally overwrite any data whilst you're practicing these techniques. The first one I'm going to look at is the most common, I think, is this column here where somebody's typed them in with full stops, and there's a clue to see that Excel doesn't understand that they're dates because they're left aligned. Now obviously somebody could have right aligned them manually, but if when they were typed in they were left aligned and they stayed that way, it's a clue that Excel thinks they are text. Also, you can tell if you have a look on your formatting area here, can you see it doesn't necessarily know it's a date, it's left it as general, and actually if I click on each of these examples they'll all be set to general until I get to the one that genuinely Excel thinks is a date and it's already decided that it's a date. So this one we're going to fix with find and replace. Now it's really important, if you have other data in your sheet, that you make sure that the area that you want to change is highlighted before you do the find and replace, because find and replace potentially could update the whole sheet, or depending on the settings could update the whole workbook. But if you've got it set to, if you just highlighted the area that you want to change, it should just change it within that area. But that's why I said make a backup copy of your spreadsheet first, just in case you forget to do this once. Now, on your home tab, there's an option called find and select. And if you go to replace, I'm just going to say I want to replace a full stop with a forward slash, which happened to be in there from a previous recording. And then you get an option to either choose to do it for the whole sheet or for the whole workbook. But actually, because I've got that area highlighted, it will be clever enough to know that I only want to do it for that area. If you're feeling a bit cautious, you can choose find next and replace, find next and replace, and do them one at a time. But if you've got loads of them, like I have, I'm just going to be brave and hit replace all, and it's found 24 replacements, and it's only done that within that little range. Now can you see my dates have aligned to the right, and if I look at my formatting options up here, it's automatically decided that it's a date. And there's massive benefits in terms of what you can do with your Excel spreadsheet of making sure your dates are stored as dates. It means you can sort in date order now, you can do calculations on dates, you can use dates as part of reports like pivot tables and pivot charts and so on. If you left them with those full stops in it, none of those things would have worked. I'm going to do the same thing on this one where somebody has entered the dates with spaces. I'm going to go back to find and select, go to replace my little full stop with a space. I know it doesn't show there's anything in the box, but it does recognize that as a space. And when I hit replace all, it's done everything within that range and didn't touch any of the others. With these next two columns, it's a little bit more challenging to fix these. We can't just do one find and replace to fix them all, because the little ordinals, the little ST and ND and so on, has to come out. So what I'm going to do is highlight both the British and the American date formats, go to find and select and choose replace. And let's say I'll start with the ST. But this time I don't want to replace it with anything at all. So I'm just going to leave the replace with blank. And then I'm going to go replace all. And can you see with the British dates already, because I've got a British set up on my computer, it's automatically recognised those as dates as soon as I remove those letters. It hasn't worked on the American dates, but we have a fix for the American dates in a minute. I'm just going to do the same thing for ND, replace with nothing at all. RD, replace with nothing at all. TH, replace with nothing at all. if I close that little box, you can see the British dates, think they're dates, they've aligned to the right. If I have a look at my formatting thing here, for some reason it's chosen an option called custom, but if I can choose short date, if I just want number slash number slash number, or long date if I want to see the name of the month. But you can see it's right aligned, and Excel thinks it's a date now, so it will work in your calculations. This one is still set to general and it won't work in calculations yet, but it's only because my computer is expecting the UK date format, so it doesn't understand what's going on here. But there is another trick that you can use to fix that. It's not the find and replace option that we were using before. It's underneath your data tab. There is an option called text to columns, which I would usually use to split data into separate columns. But actually, you can just use it to flip your dates around the other way. So it doesn't really matter whether you choose delimited or fixed width, because we're not going to split the columns in any case. You need to make sure there is nothing ticked in the delimiters area, because I don't want to split it into separate columns. When you get to this step where it says wizard step 3 of 3, this is the one I'm interested in. Can you see there's an option to change the date format? And at the moment it thinks it should be day, month, year, because it knows I'm in the UK. But I say no, my dates are actually month, day, year. And you can change this destination if you want to, but it's going to put it in the same column over the top. So as long as I'm confident that it's going to work properly, I can leave the same destination. And when I choose finish, can you see now it thinks these are dates? It's aligned it to the right. If I go back to my home tab and have a little play with my date formats, it's formatting it correctly. Now, when you do your reports, whether you do your pivot tables, when you do filtering, sorting, all those sorts of things should work swimmingly with your new dates. Come back for more videos. We're going to do a whole series of short videos on just fixing issues with Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, that sort of thing.